Yes, y'all. You know what it is. It's them kids and wives and 9 to 5s, but we are still married to the games. Episode 181. It's your boy Gabe Patillo with Tim Router.
Yes, sir.
And introducing the man with the most AKAs outside this podcast.
Seriously.
We got your boy Chris McCrackin, a.k.a. BreadFan35, a.k.a. Uncle BreadFan, a.k.a. Hype as he wanna be, a.k.a. Run of the YouTube channel, a.k.a. new member of the podcast. Y'all give it up for Chris McCrackin. How you doing, brother?
Awesome.
No way.
I'm sorry, guys.
No way.
My bad. The dang plug came undone. Good Lord. I'm going to be the most MTGG oops guy ever.
Oh, my God. That is incredible.
I know you're laughing your head off right now, Ed.
Yes, we are.
Oh, my God.
Give me a break.
Incredible.
No, that was amazing. Please.
You don't get no, I'm not going to be able to do an intro that good again.
No. That's it. Keep rolling.
My gosh.
I love you guys.
We keep it moving. Keep it moving. Oh, my gosh. Release McCrackin.
Oh, gosh.
Oh,
So,
all right.
Chris McCrackin is here.
I'm glad I can bring that for you guys.
All right, everybody breathe.
Oh my gosh. I love that now when Chris leaves the show, they're going to be like, what's your favorite McCrackin moment? They're like, oh, the first episode he was on when he didn't know how to be on the podcast.
Oh, that was incredible.
That's some amazing first-timer stuff.
My favorite Bread fan moment was when he realized he's not cut out for this.
Oh my God!
It is all good, brother. All good.
So, in the absence of Timothy Hall, we are bringing on two guys because I mean, that's how big of a part of the show Timothy Hall is. He leaves, you need two people to replace him.
Oh yeah.
How much of a hole we've got to fill.
Exactly.
There you go.
And so now we have gone outside of the state of Tennessee. And we're in Texas now.
Yeah.
We're in the great state of Tejas.
Texas.
DFW.
So what's cool about Chris has been listening for a long time. You guys have seen him on the YouTube channel. He's 1/3 of that team over there. And so you've kind of met him already, but we wanted to bring him on here by himself. And then we'll have Ed on next week. So we're going to be going Texas, Pennsylvania, and Tennessee. It'll be the trifecta.
We're going nationwide, baby.
Because it's on your side, you know what I'm saying?
Well, there you go.
And
married to the Games Podcast. Sorry.
This one started really rough.
Chris McCrackin is fired.
What the heck am I gonna do?
So
this is fun.
We wanted to give Chris the opportunity to come on and introduce himself to everybody because we know that everybody that listens to the podcast doesn't watch the YouTube videos, obviously. And so we were like, I think Router had the great idea because we knew that Chris and Ed were going to be a part of the show. And I was over at Router's for Piper's birthday. And I can actually call you Tim now because there's not another Tim, but I think I'll stick with Router.
Yeah, stick with Router. That's fine.
But I was over there and I was like, man, how do you want to do this? How do you want to intro these guys to the show? And we talked about taking a couple weeks off and it's just me and Router. And Router was like, why don't we have them on one at a time so they can kind of introduce themselves and then we'll hit it up with all four of us in the middle of the month. And I was like, I like it.
Yep.
So that's what we're doing, man. And we're here and we're podcasting with Chris McCrackin. So Chris.
Yes, sir.
Tell these people about yourself and like in your journey in the MTTG family.
So I don't know what number it was I started listening, but it was a little bit before the inception of the forums on the website.
Mm-hmm.
And so I feel like that was somewhere around the 30s.
I think so. Yeah,
regardless, I was one of the many people that you've had in the community that went back to episode 1 and listened all the way, caught up on all the ones that I hadn't heard. And then obviously I haven't missed a show since then. I went to Married to the Games 100.
Yes,
in
you did.
Nashville, which was my first.
Yeah, you did.
Not only was my first trip to Nashville, but it was my first time ever driving that far because we drove from Dallas, Texas, all the way out there.
That's what, 15 hours?
It was 12.
Oh, okay, that's not bad.
That's
Wait,
a long
it doesn't
way.
seem bad
What
as
you mean
somebody who
that's not
drives up
bad?
to New York,
That's
but
Right.
Yeah,
I've never
exactly.
driven more than 3.5 hours, actually being the one driving where I can't, go to sleep.
Yep.
So it was a little bit crazy, but I made it through. And now when I drive, because my wife is from Oklahoma and we go up there periodically, and that's only 3 hours. Just like, man, this ain't nothing. I drove for 12 hours once, both
right.
ways.
You're a road warrior now.
Exactly.
Because you've driven there and back. Yeah.
Yes, I have.
And it was great, man. When we met you and Stacy, it was at the 100. It was so much fun. It was very cool.
Yeah, that was definitely a big highlight. And Stacy didn't really, and even to this day, doesn't really listen to podcasts, but she listens to Married to the Games. And it was all kind of stemming from episode 100.
That's so
she
cool.
She met the people. She's like, wow, I don't really play video games other than Candy Crush, but these people are great.
No, she played something else, didn't she? Was it Candy Crush? Was that the only one on her phone she played? I felt like she played like Farmville or something like that.
Yeah, she plays this one called, I think it's called Heyday.
Oh, that's right.
It's
that's
something like Farmville where you build
right.
stuff and
I don't
know.
She was one of the few ladies that wrote into the show. Remember, we asked a long time ago, if you play mobile games, do you consider yourself a gamer?
Yes.
And she wrote in and was like, you know what? I think that's what she really officially introduced herself on Twitter. She was like, I'm Mrs. Breadfan 35.
That's right.
And
she was
she
like,
actually
I play mobile
she did
games.
she did it on the forum because and I didn't even know. So I'm just
That's
walking.
right.
Yeah, because I at work I'll go and walk sometimes, like just in the middle of the day to get some steps in or whatever. Now that I have a Fitbit and I'm one of those people.
Nice.
And I was just walking, listening to the podcast, and it says from Mrs. Breadfan 35. I'm like, what? I had no clue she'd even done that, so she totally surprised me with that.
Yeah, she totally said she was a gamer. She was like, I'm a gamer because I play Heyday and I play Candy Crush, and me and my people at work sit around and talk about it. And I was like,
fair enough. Yeah.
There it is. Can't argue with that.
No, you cannot.
So you started listening somewhere in the 30s, you think. And what I love about Chris is that Chris said he was really excited when we started the forum because he was like, oh, I can just be Chris on the forums.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have to be a weird name with some numbers.
Yeah, because I've been a part of many different forums for all kinds of different subjects, throughout my internet career, so to speak. And I was like, I don't want to sign up for another forum and have another login thing I got to remember. I was like, wait a minute, wait. Some schmo like a year from now is going to be like, Chris 25873, and I'm just going to be the OG Chris.
That's right.
That's right. I love
it. So, Chris, how long have you been gaming then? So, give us some of your gaming history then, too.
So, I have been gaming since NES. That was my first console. I got it when I was 5 years old. And I've had a console my entire life since then. I had an NES. I had an SNES. I had a Nintendo 64. I had a Sega Genesis. I had a TurboGrafx 16. And then I had, that's where it I narrowed my focus.
That's the name of Kanye's new album, Kanye said his new album is going to be called the TurboGrafx 16.
I know, I saw that.
Oh, Lord.
I was like, oh, gosh, he's an idiot.
Yes, he is.
Oh,
like,
man,
knowing it's going to change 25 times before the actual album comes out.
Yes. And so after that, I had a PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, and now I have a PS4 and an Xbox One.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
Man, you pretty much have gone through the history of video game consoles right there. That's awesome.
Yeah, the only one I think I didn't touch was the Sega Saturn and the Sega, or the Dreamcast. And I never owned an Atari either. I had friends that had like the 26 and everything back in the day, but I never owned an Atari.
And you didn't have the original Sega either, right?
No, yeah, I didn't have the Master System either.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome, man. What was so favorite game of all time?
Favorite game of all time.
Question?
No,
this is an interview, pops. Here we go. Let's do this.
That's
Metal
easy.
Gear?
Metal Gear Solid.
Metal Gear Solid.
Metal
I
Gear
knew
Solid.
it.
Easy.
So
answer for me.
Are you more of an RPG, action adventure, open world kind of a guy?
That's a lot of cover.
That's true. I did kind of run
Are
the
you
gamut,
like a
but it's all
JRPG, action adventure, role-playing, pick your own adventure,
/
telltale,
strategies.
episodic type, first-person shooter kind of guy?
that likes to choose his own adventure.
Yes.
Oh, is that you?
Yeah.
No, honestly, at least nowadays, I would say the game type that I gravitate mostly, or that I've played the most in my free time, is shooters, like first-person shooter games.
Okay.
But that's mainly because, so there, in between all those consoles that I had, between PS2 and PS3, I took about a 3 to 4 year kind of hiatus from gaming. So my PS2, about 2002, I kind of stopped playing. I still had it, and I would turn it on every now and then, but I didn't really touch it very much after that. And then
Why'd you stop playing?
I just kind of started getting interested in different things. I'd always played games, and it wasn't like I thought, okay, I'm consciously going to stop playing games because I don't like these anymore. But I got into a lot of other things. I was really into car racing, drag racing. I had a Mustang that I was working on, and I was building up, and I was going to races every weekend and doing...
Shut up.
That's
like
amazing.
That kind of culture. Yeah.
I beat a couple Mustangs, just saying.
Yeah, they were probably V6 or a 4-cylinder from back in the day. I'm just saying.
Don't worry about what they were. Just know they got beat.
Yeah. So I got really into that for a while, and then PS3 came out, and I wanted to get one, but I didn't have $600 to pay for a PS3.
I know that's right.
So I ended up waiting, and the game that got me back into, that I purchased my console to start playing, was Call of Duty.
Wow.
Yeah, I was one of those guys.
Yeah, that's awesome, though.
Yeah, bro.
I played Modern Warfare 1, or it was just called Modern Warfare. And I was like, wow, this game is amazing. And then when Modern Warfare 2 came out, I was like, I've got to finally get a PS3. And by that time, the Slim had come out.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I was like, okay, and they dropped the price. I was like, the time is right. I'm going to get one. And I bought Modern Warfare 2. And when I played Modern Warfare 1, I didn't even know they had a multiplayer. So when I played Modern Warfare 2, and there's like, multiplayer, what's this? And I got hooked on that. I put so many hours into that game, and I just got hook, line, and sinker. I was a first-person shooter guy.
Wow, that's awesome.
That is so funny.
But I like to play, a lot of different things. I like the third-person open-world stuff. I like the more narrative things. I like the stuff like Telltale, choose your own adventure, kind of make different choices. I like a little bit of everything.
I remember...
There you go.
When Destiny came out, you just ran with that. You were always up there doing your thing. And I know we had talked about it on the podcast quite a bit too, that was like your next, big first person shooter that you were just all in with, and probably still are, if I can assume.
No, I actually kind of fell off of Destiny.
Did you?
Which is crazy because
Star Wars stole his heart.
Say that again?
I was saying Star Wars kind of stole your heart a little bit.
Yeah, it did.
Nice.
Star Wars Battlefront was definitely something that I picked up after I kind of decided I was going to walk away from Destiny, at least for a while. I may, come back a little bit later on.
Did you play Taken King?
I did play Taken King. I actually played through the campaign of Taken King. It's on the Marriage of the Games YouTube channel.
Of course.
But yeah, I played Taken King. But Taken King, when it came in, they changed a bunch of stuff with the game, which for people who are MMO people, they're like, oh, that happens all the time. And yeah, I get that, but I'm not an MMO guy, and I didn't like some of the stuff they changed. So I was like, yeah, I'm going to take this time to take a break, and I'm going to go play some other stuff.
There you go.
But yeah, I put a lot, and I mean a ridiculous amount of hours into Destiny. So
That's awesome, man. Okay, where are you living, and what are you doing?
I live in DFW. That's Dallas-Fort Worth for somebody. If for some weird reason you don't know where that is, because Texas is the center of the world.
And why do you guys call it the same thing? It's two different cities. Why not say I live in Dallas?
Well, I don't. I live in technically Fort Worth, but that's why I don't.
Why not just say you live in Fort Worth?
Well, because it's one big metroplex, and DFW Airport's right in the center, and everything happens. A lot of things happen in both areas. Many people in Fort Worth go to Dallas to do stuff, and people in Dallas come to Fort Worth to do stuff. And then you get those people that are like, no, I hate that other city.
Right.
But most of it, there's a lot of crossover. So people just refer to it as DFW because you're going all over the place.
Just call it
interesting.
Just call it Fort Dallas. Just make life easy for everybody.
That actually would be pretty good. I should call it Fort Dallas. Yeah, man, I live in Fort Dallas.
And then they shoot
I like
you.
that better.
Yeah, exactly.
That's awesome, man. So you live in Dallas, DFW.
I do. And
good.
I was going to say my job. So I do full-time video production. And I do it for a retail company. So I'm not out making movies. I wish I was making movies. That'd be really cool.
That'd be awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. I do. I make product videos. I make training videos.
For the internet or for television?
Yeah. So I work for the Container Store, which is a retail company. It's a US-based retail company. And on our website, we have a lot of different product videos. And probably about 90% of them, me and my partner, there's only 2 of us on the team that does the actual shooting and editing. We have shot about 90% of the videos that you would see on that website. And then internally, we also do pretty much all of the training videos. And we also we're really big about our culture at the Container Store. And so we do a lot of photography of our different events and fun events and things that we do because we like to have a lot of fun and we like to party. So we like to really promote our culture, and so we use that to promote things.
So you do both consumer and, you're on the consumer and corporate level. You kind of do both.
Yes.
That's amazing. That's awesome.
Well, if you guys need a black hand model, I know somebody that knows somebody.
We have somebody for you.
Yeah, that's done it in the past that has some experience.
I will
black
totally
hand
keep that
model
in
experience.
I got black hand model experience.
That's right.
So
how many years of black hand model experience have you had, sir?
Oh, well, that's not enough.
It's clear. Next.
How am I ever supposed to get any work? Everybody wants me to have experience. I just got out of school.
That is so awesome. It was, and that's kind of why it was such a nice natural progression to bring you on, Chris, to do the YouTube stuff. Anyway, you live in video. You know, this was an easy setup. If it was up to Hall and me, we still haven't put Let's Play
which it was
video
up
together.
to him and Hall for 2.5 years.
Yeah, and we didn't do squat with it. So, and I don't have any of that stuff. I don't really know how it. I'm sure it's easy to set up. I just have never set it up, and I do all my gaming at 5 o'clock in the morning, so I kind of can't be loud and wake everybody up either. So it was just, and Hall's kind of the same way. So this was beautiful having you come on, knowing full well that you could take care of all the video editing, doing everything, posting it on YouTube. Boom, 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 we're done. So that's awesome.
Yeah, it definitely helps out that
out.
I edit video basically for a living, so I mean, it's easy to just transition right into editing a video game and editing video. It's kind of the same principle.
What are you playing right now, Chris?
I am playing, well, a couple of different things. I played through The Walking Dead, the Michonne miniseries, the first episode.
Oh,
how'd you like it?
It was, I enjoyed it, but I will say I've kind of tired a little bit of Telltale in general, just because I feel like they're putting out way too much stuff, and I was kind of like, but I've always enjoyed the Walking Dead series. Out of all the ones that I've played, and I haven't played everything. I haven't played The Wolf Among Us. I never played that.
Oh, it's great.
Oh,
you
and I didn't play
one.
Tales from the Borderlands either because I watched it, and I was like, well, I feel like I would just make the same decisions, or those would be imprinted in my mind,
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the reason I didn't play that one, even though it was highly recommended by a lot of people.
Yep.
But the Walking Dead series was the first Telltale game I played, and I've just stuck with that series. I've really enjoyed it. And the Michonne miniseries is really cool, too. If you remember, between season 1 and season 2, they had the 400 days, I think it was.
Yeah. Yep.
It kind of feels similar to that, except it's a little more focused because it's Michonne and she's a known character, and everybody kind of already has a preconceived notion as to what you're going to be getting into with her.
Yeah. Yep.
Right.
But it's really cool so far. I've enjoyed the first episode, and it was a lot of fun. I think there's going to be 3 total, so I'm not sure when they're supposed to drop, but I'm looking forward to them.
Sick.
And
That's
then
awesome.
Other than that, I played. So one of my favorite games to just pick up and play any old time is Runner 2, and they recently released for the PlayStation 4. It was on PS3. It was on Vita, as well as I think it's on PC and Mac, I believe. I don't think it's on Xbox, at least not Runner 2. It might be, but I have it on PlayStation 3 and Vita, so when they announced they were going to bring it to PlayStation 4, I was like, I got to play that. And I played there's different worlds that you unlock on the map, and the first world is called the Welkin Wonderland, and I played through that and recorded that for the Made to the Games YouTube channel as well.
It's so awesome.
Yeah, that's the Bit Trip stuff, right? Bit Trip Runner.
Yeah. So do you kind of bounce from game to game, or do you like to finish one game and then start a next, or you juggle them?
I don't have a problem juggling them, but it really kind of depends on what the game is. So the other game that I've been playing lately as well is Metal Gear Solid 5.
Nice.
And the main reason for that is, well, I picked it up when it first came out, and I was playing through it, and pretty shortly after it came out, AC Syndicate came out, and I was playing both of those, and that kind of broke me. It's like, wow, 2 big open world games.
Yeah.
I'm struggling to keep up with both of these. So
that would drive me insane.
Exactly. So I put Metal Gear Solid, on the shelf for a little while, finished out AC Syndicate, and I'm just kind of getting back into Metal Gear Solid now. I've been playing it, I would say, started about middle of January, I started playing it again.
Nice. Did you like Syndicate? You can be honest. It's all good. I am the token Assassin's Creed guy anyway, so it's totally fine if you don't like it.
It's a safe place.
Here's the deal. My first AC game was Black Flag. I had never played an AC game before that.
Oh wow, okay.
Absolutely loved Black Flag.
Yep,
it was
too.
Amazing. Like, for instance, there was a trophy that you could get where if you fully upgrade the Jackdaw, it's supposed to pop a trophy. That trophy never popped for me, even though I fully upgraded that ship.
Oh, no.
If that trophy had popped, I probably would have gone for the platinum. I mean, that's how much I enjoyed the game.
Nice.
That was a good one, man.
I loved that game. And so when Syndicate came around, I didn't jump on to Unity because I was playing some other things. And then, just through word of mouth kind of stuff, I heard, well, it's got some problems. I'll wait till the problems get worked out. And then by that time, there were so many other things to play, and I just never played Unity.
Yep.
And then Syndicate came out. The idea of the setting seemed cool. The twins seemed cool. So I was like, all right, I'm going to jump on this. Plus, it was another game we could put on the channel. And I started playing it, and I enjoy the characters. I love Evie and Jacob Fry. And again, I like the setting. The controls just killed me in that game.
Really?
Yeah, and I know Ed didn't have a problem with this.
Yeah, I didn't either.
And I know that you didn't have much of an issue with it. But the controls, I mean, I was just... it just beat me down.
Some of the free run has always been an issue for me. I'm just kind of used to it, and I get into that mode because I've been doing Assassin's Creed since Brotherhood, so you just kind of get used to it, and you kind of for me, you just kind of suck it up and deal with it, and you kind of adapt your gameplay and your strategy that way. But yeah, man, this is fun. Like I love the fact that you've been playing a lot of the same games, and you have a totally different opinion of them. Because Syndicate, for me, I platinum. It's one of my favorite games now. Like it's just funny that we have two different opinions of it, which is really cool. So that's interesting.
Yeah, honestly, it was only the control issue. Because again, like I said, I like story and everything. I hated driving the buggies or the carts, whatever. That was horrible.
Yeah.
But I loved the harpoon. I'm hoping that they stick with that thing. That thing was awesome.
Yeah, that was pretty amazing.
That's a really good step forward. So I really liked that. So I didn't hate the game entirely. I just didn't like that little part of it.
That's awesome.
Yep.
There you go.
That's really
nice. Cool. Chris McCrackin. And how long have you been married to Stacy?
This July will be 6 years.
Beautiful.
I made it easy on myself. We got married in 2010, so I just have to look at what year are we in? Okay, that's how many years we'll have been married.
Nice. I love that. That's great, man.
You did make that easy on yourself. That's funny.
You are definitely married to the games, brother. That's awesome.
That's true.
Router.
Yeah, buddy.
What's been going on with you, Doc?
Man, just doing the same old. Let's see. So I have an allergy update for you. I went back and saw my ENT. And polyps are starting to come back again.
What? No! Yes. What? How does that work?
So basically I am, to quote him, like chemically and biologically prone to polyps in my nose. They're not it's not major. It's not anything like it was when I had my surgery back in the end of September. He said, this is completely manageable.
It's one of your powers?
It's like I keep telling you that. It's one of my powers. It's my polyp power.
It's one of the tiger claw powers. Oh my gosh.
My tiger claw polyp power. So, so here's what it used to be like. Just I could, like, after my surgery, I mean, I still feel great. That's the thing. Like, it doesn't affect me in any way. They're just little growths in there, and it's nothing. They're not like huge. They're not blocking my sense of smell or taste. Like, I still feel just as great as I did when I came out of surgery. But basically, we just have to kind of be on top of them. So after the surgery, all I was doing was just nose sprays. Now what I have to do is I have
go up in there with a stick.
It's an injection. But it's got this it has this foam mister on top that you attack. So I look like I'm a heroin addict with all these injectors everywhere, right? So I had to buy these online at some medical place. They're like $5 each. I've got like 10 of them.
Out of China?
And what'd you say?
Black market China, some China website.
Yeah. So, and basically, I have to take these little vials, put the syringe in it, and then shoot it up my nose now. So that's my life. So I just started it like today, and I got it all up in my nose, and I was like, it took a little while to get used to because I'm using a syringe for crying out loud, like a crackhead. It's
like the first time you watch somebody put a contact in. They're just struggling. They're like, trying not to poke themselves in the eyeball.
Yeah. So that's fun. I figured I got to learn that today or this past week. So that's been great. But it's like I said, it's totally manageable. I have to see him. Like I just have to see my ENT guy in the next 6 weeks, and we'll just keep an update on it. But it's not really like I haven't had any allergy attacks, no major issues.
So how often do you have to do that though?
Every day.
Yeah.
Every day?
Just like once a day though?
Yeah, pretty much. Like it's like you get these tiny vials. They come in like this big pack, and like the good thing about it is this is not expensive. Like the prescription for these little vials is dirt cheap, and the syringes are the ones that really cost more, and I can use them multiple times. I don't just like throw them away or anything. So right. It's really weird. It's just I feel like, why do I have all these syringes here? And
how far do you have to put it up your nose?
No, there's an attachment on the syringe that it's like in the shape of, it's a foam pyramid, and basically that foam goes up, like you put it up your nose, and then you just inject it. It's kind of like when I would use this saline solution to flush my nose back in the day. So yes. I'm used to it, being the nose guy that I am. I'm used to all this stuff, but it's just another weird thing that, of course, I have to pick up. So, so that's
every day for the rest of your life.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, we'll see. Like, we're just gonna keep monitoring it, but like from here on out, that's what I do.
So, is it supposed to just suppress symptoms, or is it supposed to prevent new polyps from forming?
It's budesonide or something like that. It's a higher concentrated level of what Flonase is. Mm-hmm. So it's a steroid. It's a mini steroid, and think of it kind of like a weed eater. Like it will if there's polyps, it will like slowly start to attack them and grind them down and not grind them down, but like it'll start to make them fade out. Hopefully, that's the goal. He said
it's like scrubbing bubbles.
Exactly.
We just spray it on. It's supposed to just clean the tub.
Bubbles. Exactly.
It's supposed to clean the tub by itself. Nose scrubbing bubbles.
Nose scrubbing bubbles. Title of the episode right here. Anywho, Wow. So my ENT said back in the day, if we didn't have these type of medications, I would have basically had to have had the surgery again if it got worse. So thank God we're not at that point.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
there's medicine for it. It can be medically treated. It's just weird that, of course, it's weird and funny that, of course, I'm quote chemically and biologically prone to polyps in my nose.
Yeah, you're a mutant.
So that is my superpower, and I'm happy to share it with all of you.
Some people self-heal. Some people self-harm.
I grow polyps. That's what I do. In my nose.
Doesn't like your nose. Yeah.
Exactly.
He runs around corner whenever they're robbing a bank, says polyp power, and shoots polyp at them.
It's a polyp. That's right. It's very sticky. It's great.
A polyp. Yeah, it's like when the guys trip on the marbles in Home Alone.
That's me.
Like that kind of thing.
That's right. That's me.
Well, I'm glad you're protecting Franklin.
That's right. So
I feel so much safer living close to you now.
You should be, man. You know that neighborhood watch? It's Polyp Watch, baby.
That's just you. Yeah, it's just you
me.
By yourself.
It's just me.
Polyp Patrol.
It's exactly right. So, anywho, let's see what else has happened. So, I watched the Oscars. Well, I watched the tail end of the Oscars. Finally, Leo gets his Academy Award. Thank goodness. That way we can stop talking about it.
Exactly.
I thought Chris Rock did a really good job. I mean, he hit it pretty head on. So, I thought he was pretty
I think that was the first thing out of his mouth, wasn't it?
Yeah. I mean, they didn't hold anything back, which I liked that, and
exactly.
I think he did a really good job. So I was pretty impressed by it. What else is going on? I went and voted in the Republican primaries in Tennessee.
Oh yeah.
So yes, I am a
Super
registered
Tuesday.
Republican, and I did not vote for Trump. And
hey, good on you.
And I am really scared for this election because if things keep going the way this is going, I am probably going to have to end up voting for Hillary.
It's awesome. Crazy because it looks like it's going to be just two trains just going to crash. Like, there's just a big accident. I don't know what to do here.
And I'm not. Let's make this clear. I am in no way a huge political person at all. I honestly,
right.
I hate politics. I'm not a fan. I'm like, I don't
know
what. What's that?
But you vote, like,
of course, man. That's your civic duty it's your civic duty as an American citizen to vote. So of course.
See, I don't complain, and I've never voted.
I know.
So it goes perfectly
together. You've never
together.
voted?
Nope.
I've never voted. No.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we need to get. I'm on the campaign. Well, maybe not this election year, but I'm on the campaign trail to get Gabe to register,
to vote,
and then to vote.
I've probably registered.
No,
I had to register because I probably thought at one point that I was gonna. I just haven't liked anybody enough to want to.
Trust me, dude. I don't either, but you still should do it because it's one of those
the
things.
Shiniest of whichever turn.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
You're like, that turn's pretty shiny.
Yeah, it's just like whatever. But anyway,
and I think like a part of me doesn't like how emotional people are about it.
Oh yeah, that people can get fired up about it.
Oh man, people are serious about this thing.
Oh yeah, I mean it is a big deal.
I mean it can have very serious implications potentially.
Potentially. Mm-hmm. Has it really in the past? Not so much, because to me, a lot of the politicians, they do all the same stuff. The problem, my whole thing is, everyone's out kind of slinging mud at everybody because they're trying to get ahead of one another. Meanwhile, when you do become president, you have to go back to all of those same people and try and work together to build legislation.
I don't know how they do it. So,
like, I'll give you an example. And, if you support Trump, that's totally fine. But, like, because for a long time, I'm like, this guy's got a lot, to say. I think it could be something interesting. But here's one thing to consider. The guy can't even apologize to Megyn Kelly, who's a Fox correspondent, right? They went back. They had a Twitter battle back and forth, right? If you're president, like, you have to go, you're going to end up going back and talking with her anyway. So you're already burning bridges before you're even president, and everybody's asleep now. So I'm going to move on. I've been playing the mess out of Far Cry Primal, and it is freaking fantastic,
is it awesome?
People. It is awesome. Like, it's not.
Is it like Run Out and Get It good?
Did you like Far Cry 4?
Heck yeah.
Okay, go get it. It is not. It's not anything. It's not anything like hugely progressive. It's not a massive step up from Far Cry 4. It's kind of like it's a sidestep because it's got a lot of the same elements, but there's even cooler things in it that maybe Far Cry 4 could have had or maybe was missing, but this kind of fulfills it. I just like the primitive nature of it all. It's just awesome.
Is it?
So I'm sitting there. I've finally got my my beast taming skills. So the randomness of everything is so awesome. I had a jaguar as a partner. I tamed the jaguar. A jaguar. He's running along with me. Next thing you know, a saber-toothed tiger comes out. My jaguar goes after him. Saber-toothed tiger kills the jaguar. I end up taming the saber-toothed tiger. So now the saber-toothed tiger's with me.
So you upgraded.
Sick.
So I upgraded, and then I skinned and got all the resources from my friendly jaguar that I had before. So
you said, "Hey, I'm sorry you lost that fight. Can I make a jacket out of you?"
Exactly.
Your fur is
there is an actual trophy that I looked up and I just got this morning where you befriend a beast, then kill it, and that's your trophy. So it's called Backstabber or something like that.
I was going to say, it's got to be called Backstabber or something,
it's
right?
something like that. I can't remember what it was, but it's something to that effect. I'm like, so I'm like, well, I got to try this.
I wonder what PETA has to say about this game.
Oh, who cares?
They always come out and say something when there's an animal in a game.
They're going to say something about everthing.
Yeah,
Digital
like, I don't know about this.
Rights. Digital animals have rights.
That's exactly
I don't know about this Frogger.
But what's he jumping in the street for?
Exactly.
So yeah, it's going to be my game up until probably until Uncharted 4 because the map is huge. Like I haven't even scratched the surface, but I'm getting into that groove now. Like I call it my Far Cry groove because it happens with every Far Cry. Like you start off a little rusty, blah blah blah, but now like I'm going in and I'm going to the different fortresses, and now you can like I'm getting the sneak attack XP because I was stealth, I did stealth, and it's just you get in that groove, and now I just want to keep playing and just keep playing.
What I liked about it from the onset, what I liked about when I saw the commercial it looks like I always use the bow and arrow anyway.
Me too.
And so I'm like, heck yeah, bow and arrow, we can do this.
Yep. No, it's really cool. But you get you have bow and arrow, club, a spear, all of which you can craft, and then you can get meat. Like as you kill and skin, you'll get meat, and that meat you use to tame your beasts. And then you also have this little, it's like a bee bomb, where it's like a like you
throw a hive.
It's like a hive of bees that you can throw and stun, and I haven't even used it yet, but
interesting.
It's really cool though. Like the club, at night you can ignite it with fire, and that kind of thwarts the wolves and anybody that's coming after you. It's just and it's all about tribal warfare, and you're part of the Wenja tribe, and you build your followers as there's all those. In Far Cry 4, how you had like different convoys that you can go and attack or rescues. The same principles here. You can go in, rescue. The tribe members that you rescue get added to your tribe. So right now I have like 33 tribe members right now, and you build a cave for yourself, and then there's other characters in the game that you go and do missions for that help build their huts as well, and that's what unlocks a lot of the perks. It's really everything is just very streamlined. I think it's really simple, and it's my game, man. It's perfect. I love it.
That is awesome.
Yeah,
I'm so glad to hear that.
I'm having a great time with it. So
cool, man.
Let's see what else. I think that's pretty much it for me, man. Mr. Patillo, nice. How is the tour? You've been out.
I've been out, since I guess a week and a half ago now. We are in Vegas. Viva!
Nice. Where are you staying?
My neighbors in the hotel are like, "Oh, you got to be kidding! Must be his first time here."
That's right.
We're staying at a new hotel called the SLS. I don't know what that stands for.
Oh, nice.
But it is down by the Stratosphere.
Sweet.
So we're across from the Stratosphere, so that's why I put up that picture yesterday. And
I totally saw that picture. Thought it was Seattle Space.
I thought it was too.
I was like, I don't understand what this guy is saying.
I did the same thing.
Viva.
I was like, wait, Viva La Seattle? What are you talking about?
Yeah, so we've been in Vegas. We had our last show was in San Diego on Sunday. We had the day off in San Diego on Monday. I rented a car and just ran around. Went to where me and Jenny got married. It was awesome. The weather was beautiful.
Oh, that's cool.
And then yesterday we came to Vegas. We had yesterday off here, today off here, and then tomorrow we have a show here.
Oh,
so
sweet.
I just been pretty much kicking it with my dad. Me and him been hanging out a lot.
Oh, that's right. Your dad lives in Vegas, doesn't he?
Yeah, my dad lives here, and
we
went and saw a race today. The Jesse Owens
how
story.
Was that?
It was good.
Yeah.
It was a little long for me, but I thought Jason Sudeikis did great. I think the guy who's playing Jesse Owens did great. And it's just a pretty incredible story. Anytime you see a story where somebody overcomes something. 1930s America. Didn't like black people and
Berlin
all that.
Olympics.
Yeah, Berlin Olympics under the reign of Hitler.
Yep.
It was really interesting. It was good. It was like,
it's
solid.
It's not Deadpool. which by the way, I went and saw this past weekend.
Don't you agree with me? Do not take your kids to go see Deadpool.
Oh, heck yes.
No, do
not take your children.
No.
But you know what? I got to say, my favorite superhero movie.
I mean,
I loved
you laughed
it
the whole time.
I loved that movie. I will go see it again. No problem.
You could definitely take your kids to go see Race.
Yes. yes.
Unless you don't want them to hear the N word, because that's said a bunch.
What is that movie rated? Is it a PG-13?
I actually have no idea. I would have guessed PG-13.
I think, I think
you're
right.
Like
there's not a bunch of cussing in it. Yeah. But it was good story, good acting, still a little long.
True story too, so it's awesome.
Yeah, true story.
Yep.
So you can kind of go look up stuff about it and find out what Hollywood just made up.
Yep.
And let's see what else. Shows have been going good, tours going good. It's tiring. I'm starting to you go through phases like, oh, okay, baby, I'll see you later. You get on the plane, you leave. You're like, oh man, I'm gonna miss those guys. And then a couple days goes by and you're like, man, I really miss my family. And then a couple more days go by and you're like, shoot, man, I really wish I could see those guys.
Yep.
And then, so now I'm at the point where I'm like, all right. And you start counting down the days. So it's still like, I think 4 more days until I get home. I get home next Monday. And
brutal.
so I'll be home. Right. I'll be home Monday night. So I'll have Monday night, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Thursday morning fly to Seattle. And I'll have Stancil pick me up at the airport and just cry in his arms.
Nice. That's good.
Missing my family.
That's good.
I'm just kidding. And
Yeah,
then
I
I'll be
know
out
what
for
that's
another
like
10 days.
being separated.
Yeah,
exactly. You know how it is. Stacy's on the road.
Yep.
And she goes on the road a lot longer than I do.
Yeah,
And,
typically.
Yeah, she's going for like weeks, isn't she?
Yeah, she's on a trip. She's typically gone for about 3 weeks.
Wow, man.
Which is just cray.
Ooh, brutal.
Just me holding down the fort.
Yep.
Being the animals. So everything's been good. Been playing. I need to dive into XCOM. I keep forgetting I have XCOM with me, like on my laptop.
You've been so amped to play that game anyway, man.
I know, and then just forget about it. Like I'm like, oh man, I'd love to play XCOM, but I want to set up my PlayStation. I'm like, oh no, wait, it's on my laptop. But I just haven't been playing it. But I've been playing H1Z1 like a beast.
Man, you are hooked on that, man.
Man, it's because I haven't won yet. I've come close to winning.
Yep.
When I win, it's gonna be like when
there's gonna be
that guy was
fireworks.
like, ooh, I really like that girl, and then he gets the girl, and he's like, you know what? She talks a bit much. So that's what it's gonna be like. It's like after I climb the mountaintop, I'm be like, all right, well, this is a nice view from up here. Okay. Anyway, on to the next thing.
Yep.
And so, been playing that. And I downloaded a game on my I almost said iPhone.
I was going to say, I was like, whoa.
Blah, on my Android device.
There you go.
My Samsung. Called Alto's Adventure. I think is what it's called. That game is really, really fun. Like no premise, but I guess there's some, what are they? Is a yak an animal?
Yes.
Yes.
So I guess you have a farm of yaks and they start running down a hill and you got to go get them, but you're on a snowboard and you can do backflips and stuff. But the art is really cool. The sound is great. It's really peaceful. Alto's Adventure. On Android, it's free. I think it's $3 on iOS.
That sounds awesome.
It is so good.
Who would think, hey, let's get a bunch of yaks together.
I have no idea.
Strap on a snowboard. Go.
I don't know. I mean, these guys are putting more than Flonase up their nose, if you know what I'm saying. Think of that.
And I know something about that. That's for sure.
Go for that heavy stuff.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that prescription only. So
where's that syringe?
That's right, baby.
Yeah. So anyway, been doing that. Everything's good. We need to move on, but life is good. It's a little lonely. I'm in a hotel room by myself.
Oh man.
Last couple nights, but been hanging out with my dad. That's been fun.
That's good, man.
And been gaming a little bit. And only when I have internet. Like, and then my buddy, one of the guys, he's filling in for our bass player right now. His name's Snoopy, and he is a fighting game guy.
Oh.
And so he bought, just because I had my PlayStation now, he was like, oh, I got to buy you, what is it, DC Universe Injustice?
Oh, yeah, Injustice.
And so he's been schooling me in that.
Wow.
Because I don't play fighting games.
No.
And he's owned this game for years. But it's been really nice, so I'm getting a little better. I'm still not as good as him, but it's nice to be playing video games and get beat by somebody. Like, because most of the people in my life that I know don't play video games.
Right.
That I would be on the couch with, you know what I mean?
So you're always having to teach them instead.
Yeah,
now
it's nice to have some,
being taught.
It's nice to have some competition and feel like, oh man, I'm really trying to do something on this game. It's not like playing with my wife and I'm like, oh, I can't believe you finished before me.
That's so cute.
You're getting so good at this game.
I'm not sitting on the controller.
Yeah, right.
You're supposed to play with your feet. So, no, you keep playing with your hands. That's
you're doing great, honey. Sorry.
Exactly.
Yep.
So anyway, that's it from me. Router, you got it?
I got it, brother.
Well, let's do it.
All right. Maybe, Gabe, since you have your PC with you, you may want to pick up Far Cry Primal because it's out for PC this week.
Oh.
So that might be an option for you.
I don't like playing on this 13-inch screen, I found out.
You don't? Well, yeah, because you have your setup at home, don't you?
Yeah, when you're usually you usually use a separate monitor.
Yeah, I can see that being frustrating.
And then now I'm feel like an old man. I'm like, what's that in the distance?
I can't see it.
No, and I got headshot.
I can't read that text in the menu.
Exactly. Zoom, 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 double click, double click.
Okay, well then also, if you want, for the PS4, Heavy Rain is released this week for the PS4.
That's a good game. Play that if you like those kind of games.
Yes.
If you don't like them, don't play them. It's definitely a acquired taste. You know what I'm saying? It's not like, it's not a blanket thing like adventure games and then there's all kind of, but like Quantic Dream is very one style of game.
Yep.
Yes.
And so if you liked Beyond Two Souls, Heavy Rain is really good. I can't remember their other one that they did, but I loved
Indigo
Rain.
Prophecy, I think was the name of it.
I didn't play that one.
Anyway, yeah, so that's coming out for the PS4. Mortal Kombat XL for the Xbox One and PS4. I'm assuming, is that DLC and probably new characters?
Yeah, I would think it's just all that rap because they released like Jason and a couple other characters after.
Right. I think it's like a definitive edition where there's a new DLC pack or something, but it also has all the old DLC.
Gotcha.
Right.
Like that.
Yep. Another one for PS4, Broforce. This actually sounds kind of cool. An action platformer game about action heroes from the 80s and 90s who must slay satanic terrorists and aliens while unraveling an evil plot to destroy the planet.
I mean, of course, right?
I mean, Broforce. That can't get any better than that. That actually sounds really stinking cool.
I like that.
Yeah, right. We also have Screen Cheat for the PS4, Xbox One, a competitive split-screen first-person shooter where everyone is invisible. So players are forced to look at other players' screens in order to win.
That's like how we used to cheat.
That sounds pretty cool.
Back in the 007 days, you'd be like, oh, you're downstairs. And they'd be like, oh, you're not supposed to look at my screen.
Yeah, right. So that's pretty cool. Alekin's Gun for the PS4, Xbox One. That's from the Death to Spy series, Maximum Games. I saw the trailer for this on YouTube, and it actually looked pretty interesting, so that looks pretty cool. Nice. The Witch and the 100 Knight Revival Edition for the PS4. Mm-hmm. And for the Wii U, Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess HD with Amiibo.
There it is.
Boom.
There it is. Yep. Making people's dreams come true.
That's right.
Amiibo.
All right, we got some charts. Week of February 20th. This is brick and mortar stores, US only. Let's do this. Number 10.
Black History Month.
Naruto Shippuden Ultimate Ninja Storm 4 Xbox One.
What?
Yeah, it's a weird week. So this is, like I said, the week of February 20th. Number 9, NBA 2K16 PS4.
What?
Number 8, Rainbow Six Siege for the Xbox One.
Okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah, number 7, Project X Zone 2 Brave New World for the 3DS. Number 6, Grand Theft Auto 5 for the PS4.
What?
I'm telling you, it's weird.
Still selling.
Yep. Number 5, Naruto Shippuden Ultimate Ninja Storm for the PS4.
I just want you to keep saying that name.
I do like
Naruto Shippuden.
Those are hard. I actually really like those games. I played one of those and beat it. I thought it was really fun. Yeah.
And this is the second week that this would have been the second week it's been out, and it's still in the top 10. So it's doing something. It's at 124,000 units for the PS4 so far in 2 weeks. That ain't bad. Number 4, here we go. Call of Duty Black Ops 3 for the Xbox One. Number 3, Call of Duty Black Ops 3 for the PS4. Those flip-flops the week before. So there's this pretty interesting battle between Xbox One and PS4 for the Call of Duties going on every week. Number 2, the debut Street Fighter V PS4. Sold 213,000 copies.
Sure.
Wow.
But it was not the number 1 debut. The number 1 debut was Fire Emblem Fates for the 3DS.
There you go, Nintendo.
Man, always 3DS. These 3DS games keep cropping up, and you're like, huh? But they always crack it. 219,000 units.
$20 cheaper. They're $20 cheaper usually too.
Yeah, there you go.
It's like people who own the Vita. People who own handhelds buy games. They buy a lot of games.
Yeah, it's true.
Yes.
Typically.
Very true.
Well, because I don't think that the internal memory is ever that good, even though it's extended. I know on the Vita, but I always felt like buying games because I felt like the cards filled up so fast.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
And so 3DS games you're kind of forced to go out and get. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So those are your charts. We did have a bit of an oops, which the community collectively addressed, and the tweet that you discussed with Star Wars was actually from Mr. Matt Leidy and not Scotty Lindsay.
That's right. Leidy.
That's Matt Leidy.
Leidy.
So he had the theory, and I did read the theory, and it is pretty incredible.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
I didn't like it much either, but it's more of a I don't think that's how it went.
I'm sure it's not, but I'd like to think that maybe one day it would be.
Yeah.
I mean, it's there, and that's
it's
fine.
Good to speculate.
It is good to speculate. So whatever. Back to you guys.
Chris McCrackin.
Yes, sir.
Kick us off, man.
All right. So, are you boys interested in Batman versus Superman: Dawn of Justice?
Yeah, I do. I think I want to see that. Yeah.
I'm like, I want to be excited.
Yeah.
But like, when you see Batman holding a gun, you're like, really?
Yeah,
You're gonna fight that big old monster with a gun?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, let's forget all of that stuff. Did you see
logic.
the Batmobile in those commercials?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Well, pretty soon you can play as that Batmobile in Rocket League.
I saw that season
In Rocket League?
In
Yes,
Rocket
baby.
League.
For $1.99, I think you can get it.
For $2,
I'm
and it's
buying
going to be
that crap.
available on all platforms March 25th.
I think I'm gonna buy that.
Oh, I'm so happy
I
about that.
think I'm gonna buy that. That sounds incredible. I saw that
Can
pop
you not,
up.
right?
Yeah, man. I mean, you can't not. I mean, yeah.
It was always a toss-up between keeping what I had and that Back to the Future car.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, the
DeLorean.
Batmobile.
I saw the
come on.
I saw the Scooby-Doo mobile on somebody. That must have been
What?
a deal.
Yeah,
like
I saw somebody. I think somebody from the community that I played with had that too.
Yeah.
I don't
so
remember
that's
who.
Dang, that's a good game. That's a good game.
yeah. Oh my gosh. I'm still
Rocket
playing
League
that
is
game
good.
every day.
Yeah, that's a good game.
Oh yeah, Batmobile, Rocket League. Yes, please. Yes.
So
yes,
the Batmobile.
please.
Oh, everybody's going to have that thing.
Oh, I know. It's just gonna be bats flying everywhere. It's gonna be awesome.
Who's not going to have it?
Yep.
I want them to release the Wonder Woman's invisible jet on there, where it's just like your character just sitting in midair.
Is that
I
ball
would love
rolling
that.
or is somebody flying and pushing it? I'm not sure. Should I defend?
Oh,
Yep.
I'll go defend.
I'll
yeah.
go defend.
Everybody would just stack the
Directional.
box. I'm
That's
not
right.
moving.
Exactly. I don't know how that's coming down here. So February's free game. Those are February's free games. I thought I had March. Ugh. I think those are February.
You're on the
Sorry.
road, brother. You're on the road. You got a
I
free.
know,
You
man.
got a free
Everything's
pass, man.
Everything's all jacked up. It says February, but I don't remember.
Are you doing PS Plus or
maybe-
Games with Gold?
I'm looking at. Well, I did Games with Gold last week, and so I was looking for the PlayStation, the PS Plus games for.
Well, I know one off the
March.
top of my head, Broforce, which is the new game that Router talked about. That's going to be free for PlayStation Plus.
Oh,
Right.
sweet.
That's
Okay,
gonna
good.
be free. Yeah.
Yeah.
I did not see that, but that's awesome. I'm gonna grab it.
Yeah, so let's see. It's going to be Broforce for the PS4, Flame War for the PS Vita, Gallic Z for PS4, The Last Guy for PS3, Reality Fighters for PS Vita, and Super Stardust HD for PS3.
You know what's funny? That's the list I was looking at, but PlayStation, their blog has it listed wrong. It says February's free games.
Somebody got the wrong month.
Does it
Yeah,
really? Because I'm on
March.
PlayStation's blog and it says March 2016.
It does? Mine says February. It's so weird.
Interesting. Maybe
Or
I'm looking at the
February.
EU one. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. I'm looking at EN. Weird.
There you go.
But I'm excited about Broforce. That was the vote to play. Did you already say that, Chris?
I didn't say it was the vote to play, but yeah, it was.
That just looks awesome. Come on, man.
Yeah.
80s, 90s, and satanic
Oh, I'm
terrorists.
definitely getting that
We gotta
crap.
we gotta get us some of that.
Oh, for sure. For sure. So a little E3 news. Activision and EA are not going to have
I
booths.
know. I saw
on
that.
the
What's
floor.
up with that?
They're going to have some games to have booths, but they won't have booths, which I do not like at all. I just don't like change.
Are they?
I mean, no
so,
offense, Chris.
Do you think they'll still do their press conference though? Right?
I mean, they should do theirs, but like, it seems like a couple. I remember hearing little bubblings about 6 months ago about people moving away from E3.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and doing their own thing, kind of like Nintendo's been doing their direct thing
Yep.
just whenever they want to. And then somebody else did a big Who else did the big thing? I know Sony did one. They did the Experience, right? That was outside of E3.
Experience. They've done 2 of those now.
Mm-hmm. And so it seems like I think E3 will still hold the biggest news, but I hope that E3 doesn't start fizzling out because I just started going.
I know, right? And I'd like to go if I can, please. That would be awesome.
Exactly. All right.
At least one time.
Yeah, seriously.
Right, before they quit. And then be like, hey, E3's could be all online next year. You remember when like they were doing the writer's strike and the People's Choice Awards was just like Queen Latifah reading off the winners? Yeah. You're like, this is sad. This is the People's Choice Awards now? She's like, and the winner is Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
Y'all chose that? I wouldn't have chose that.
So they'll still have some stuff there, but I mean, if you haven't seen it, like the EA booth is right at the entrance and it's huge and they had everything there. Like they had Star Wars and Plants vs. Zombies and I think FIFA or whatever their thing is.
16.
They're like all there at one area and it was so awesome. And I guess it won't be there this year. Or Activision's. It makes me a little sad.
That stinks. I mean,
I know, it really does.
It sounds like there's clearly a trend that's happening. Is it that it's too expensive to bring all this stuff in? I mean, I don't get it. I didn't think so. It's like it's a trade show basically. So
you would think it's a drop in the bucket for them, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Interesting.
So I saw that and I was like, I don't like that. So they'll still have like Infinity Ward will still have something there. The guys that make Call of Duty, but.
Yeah. Well, they'll probably be at one of the either Sony or Microsoft stage, I would assume, if all that stuff continues on.
Exactly.
Yeah, if they're going to reveal the next whatever.
Yeah. Give us something else, Uncle Brett fan.
All right. So, have y'all heard of the HTC Vive?
Oh, yeah.
The VR headset that's they're partnered with Valve. I don't know how exactly they're partnered with Valve, if it's just the one that Valve's also going to really tout. But they released pre-orders for it, and they priced it at $799.
Oh, snap! Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm serious.
$799?
And so the thing with the Vive, I don't know specifically, but there's more components with it because it comes with 2 cameras that you go down on the floor, and it works a little bit differently. So I'm sure in their minds that's how they're getting to a higher price than even the Oculus Rift, which people already were freaking out about. But yeah.
Does it get your parents back together? Like if your parents are divorced and you buy the Vive,
for that much
do they magically get back together? That's how good this thing is. That's what I'm saying.
It might not get them back in real life, but your dad can go with the virtual mom and be like, hey, here we go.
Hey.
Only I can see her, but she's doing great. Trust me.
She never talks back.
I am just not on this VR wagon. I'm not feeling it.
So here's the question, though. Here's the big question. The Vive, the Rift, the Gear VR. And so we know the prices for all 3 of those. I don't think we know the price for the Morpheus yet. Is this time for PlayStation to step in there and like win this whole thing? If they can release it at like $400 or even at like $350, which, it's hard to have it be more than the console itself. Mm-hmm. But like you would imagine like the connectivity and all that would be so much easier with a console. Man.
Yeah.
And so I think PlayStation could win this thing if they price themselves right. Because what's the Oculus Rift, $599?
Yep.
And that thing's $799?
I mean, so here's the thing. I think everyone, all the VR companies are showing their cards now, and Sony's just waiting. And I think they're going to come out with something that's very much like that, Gabe. I think you nailed it on the head. It's got to be, hey, you have a PlayStation 4? Great. Well, for $350 you can get a VR headset and there's got to be some game that they're probably already have that's kind of like their flagship game to kind of intro everything too.
No Man's Sky.
Yeah, exactly. So
Chris is excited about No Man's Sky.
Yeah, I think so. So I think this would be probably like an easy pounce for them if they're holding out. Everybody shows their cards and then boom, they'll hit them.
Well, so now all of the major players have kind of put their cards on the table except for Sony.
Right.
But Sony has they've announced that they're having a PlayStation VR centric, I don't know if it's going to be a press conference or what, but some kind of event being held March 15th at GDC. So I would assume that's where we'll get pricing and release date and all that stuff.
Yep, that's exactly what we're getting.
That makes sense. Oh gosh, that stresses me out, man. I just hope, like, what if PlayStation freaking drops a bomb and they're like, 150, come get it?
No way.
Yeah, no, there's no way.
No way.
I know there's no way, but like, what kind of tech is in there? I mean, Gear VR works really good, and that uses your phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
You know
Gear
what I'm saying?
VR is
Like-
not. I mean, it's using your phone, so it's only high enough resolution as whatever your screen is. It's also, as far as I understand it, I mean, it's dependent on what your screen's refresh rate is as to how
Right.
good it works. I mean, it's very, you're kind of like, it's like when you get Google Cardboard, which I know that's free potentially, but it's kind of like you're okay with the sacrifices because you paid less or you got it for free if it's Google Cardboard or whatever. But when you're paying a lot of money, you want a premium experience, and all these pieces so far seem to be on the premium end as far as components and all that stuff goes.
And so as far as components, like, because I don't know how this stuff works, so this is my ignorance talking, but like the PlayStation does all the work, right? So really, is that just a motion thing and a screen?
No, see, on the PlayStation side specifically, it's a little bit unique compared to like the Vive and the Oculus Rift. The Vive and the Oculus Rift, as far as I understand it, they rely solely on your computer to power them. So that's why you've got to have the pretty beefy rig to get them to work correctly. But the
Right.
PlayStation VR, it works off of the PlayStation's power, but it's also going to come with this almost Wii U shaped or sized box that you put next to the PlayStation, whatever, that I don't know exactly what's in it. I don't think anybody knows for sure, but everybody seems to assume that's going to add to the processing power.
Yeah.
And help power it, and so that not just the PlayStation 4 is doing it. Because I mean, they're doing a 1080p screen, I believe. They're doing 120 hertz refresh rate. I mean, all that stuff being pushed through just the PlayStation 4, I think would be hard. So
it would blow up. It just
So this little box is, we're guessing, is going to help with the processing power.
It's the supplement to it. It's like another core or something. It's weird. Interesting.
Speaking of something kind of like that, Phil Spencer at a keynote talked about the Xbox soon being able to have upgradable hardware. So there would be no need to launch consoles every few years, which is weird that it was kind of put that like that, considering consoles don't come out every few years. They come out like every 7 to 8 years.
Right.
But he said that he wanted to be able to upgrade the thing. So I wonder if that would be like, I wonder if that would put Sony on their heels at all. And I'm wondering, like, what besides the hard drive would you be upgrading?
Well, see, I saw that story too, and it's kind of, it's hard. You have to kind of guess at what his meaning was. But
of course,
you could either take it as he's envisioning that every couple years you buy stuff to upgrade your Xbox One, or he could mean that every 2 years they're going to release a new Xbox One that's slightly better. Because, you know, as it gets older, the prices go down. So in theory, it would be the same price, kind of like a phone. How you get people get a new phone every 2 years.
Right.
I don't know which direction he was going with that, and I don't really like I like it and I don't like it. I'm fine getting a new phone every 2 years, but I don't want to get a new console every 2 years.
No, that would be ridiculous. And as big as the Xbox is already, like if it has to be like external add-ons, that thing would have to sit on a bed or the floor.
It's going to be a cabinet before you know it.
And I don't even think that could happen with the current Xbox One. I feel like they'd have to have at least one more iteration that had the expandability built in, because you can't even change the internal hard drive on it without breaking warranty and all this crazy stuff. So
right.
I don't know how it's going to go.
And then Chris, you two had a little bit of me and you talked about it last week. I want you to air it out a little. You know, he was talking about wanting the Xbox One and PC to be more closely linked. And we already talked about how people were freaking out about Quantum Break and the fact that it's not going to be Xbox only. How are you feeling about all that?
So I don't know for sure what Microsoft's game here is. I mean, it's obvious that they want to expose their games to more people, and they want to have more avenues to sell their games. That is obvious, and I don't fault them for that at all. But it's
right, and Steam has a huge user base.
Yes, Steam does. But see, here's the thing: is Phil Spencer specifically, because he's the face of Xbox, he's like the head guy. He's out there talking. He's like, we want to break down these walls and everything. But in a way, he's not doing that because the PC games are only available on Windows 10, and they're only available through the Windows 10 store. They're not going. They're not going to Steam.
Because they want all the profits for themselves.
So it's really more about we want Microsoft's platform to be where you get all your stuff. And he said over and over, like, oh, we love Valve because they bring people to the games and everything. But if Halo does indeed come to PC, like most people are kind of thinking, because they're starting to release all the Xbox exclusives on PC, it's probably only going to be available through the Windows Store.
Yep.
And you can't fault them, but that's not really breaking down walls. That's
building another one.
Yeah, that's making your garden be the walled garden.
Right.
And one issue that a lot of people were having with the whole putting Xbox exclusives on PC, and I get why some people say that's the dumbest thing. It's a good thing to have that. Why are you against that? But at the end of the day, if you're selling an Xbox and you want people to buy that, there's got to be an incentive for them to buy that. And what incentivizes people to buy a Wii U or a PlayStation 4 or whatever, for the most part, other than your friends and where they play, are exclusives. And if your games are available on PC, granted, most people have to have a pretty decent rig to play them. I mean,
very decent.
It feels like they're stepping their way away from hardware to be just software, which is basically what Microsoft's always been, because they're just Windows, Other people make the PCs. That's what I feel like they're doing.
Dude, I think you are spot on, man. I think that is exactly what they're doing, because they're catering to what they're the best at, which is software. That's always been their bread and butter. It's never been hardware. But can we just get all the consoles to be backwards compatible first before we do anything else? Can we just do that? Because that would be great. Because like if he is saying that they're going to put consoles out in a shorter span, then like what happens to all the games? Like, are they still going to be compatible? Like, how's the porting going to work if they're saying all this? In a way,
I know is,
go ahead.
I would hope that he would watch this 3DS and the new 3DS business and be like, that's not a good idea.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because I barely know anybody with a new 3DS.
Well, and Phil Spencer was saying part of all this spiel about the unified platform and everything. He's saying, oh, if we have these upgrades, it's like it'll be backwards. Like you can play your older games and you can play the newer games. But it's like, but at some point, like if I have Xbox version 1, and in 2 years they do Xbox version 1.5, and that can play certain games, or it has a slightly better processor, there's more than likely going to be games I can't play unless they really open it up like PC, where you can change every setting and really dumb it down based on your power. Maybe that's the way they're going to go. I don't.
That would be too confusing for the regular consumer though, right?
See, that's the thing is like, okay, console people, like PC, if you want the best experience, PC is the place to play. It just is.
Right. Yes.
But there are people who like simplicity and they're willing to sacrifice some of that other stuff. So that's mostly the console people. Like I play my games on console. Very few do I play on the computer. I just like the simplicity of playing it on a console.
And I agree. Easier. Yeah, I'm right there with you.
I mean, if you're at, the idea of upgrades doesn't scare me because I've upgraded, computers and things. That's fine. But I don't want to have to start thinking about like, wait a minute, can I play this game? Nope, not on the highest settings. Okay, I got to go over here. It's like, that's why I don't play games on PC, because
you're constantly changing the settings.
Exactly. I'm totally fine with having a 5, maybe at the high end, like last generation, a 7-year lifespan for a console. I'm cool with that.
Yep.
Because I know no matter what game comes out during that lifespan, I just pop it in and I'm good.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm with you, man. I think that's spot on, and I think the direction that you're thinking is probably spot on for Microsoft as well.
Yeah, I don't
it's
know.
weird, man. Like I don't think, if anything, these consoles need to stick around for a little bit. I mean, we can't be seeing PS5s and Xbox 1 point whatever, anytime soon, because we're still trying to work out all the kinks from all the games that we're supposed to be getting.
Yep.
Right.
For this generation.
I mean, it will definitely be interesting though, because if this is Xbox's strategy and they're like, okay, every 2-3 years, whatever, we're going to upgrade a slightly newer version or a piece that you can add on, whatever. And then if Sony decides to not go that route and stay more traditional, that'll be the first time it's like, really, okay, here's they're in the same space, but they're two different experiences. Which one do you want to go with? That'd be interesting to see how it played out.
I think Sony would win because like parents aren't going to get that.
No, it's going to be too confusing for the consumer. Way too confusing.
Yeah. That's not techie. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's the great thing about consoles. Like you were saying, buy the console, play the games.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
It already got confusing with like PS Plus and Xbox Live when they first got on the scene because parents were like, wait, so they can or can't play online? You're like, oh, okay, well, on the PlayStation, they can, but if you want the extra stuff, you got to pay. But on the Xbox, you have to pay to play. And then they're like, okay. And then PlayStation Switch is like, Mom, can you buy me PS Plus so I can play online? It's like, oh, I thought I bought you a PlayStation so you could play for free online. Well, they changed it. Oh, okay. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I can't imagine what those conversations would be between kids and parents.
I think they're hilarious.
If it's interchangeable parts, like that would be crazy.
Yeah, the minute you confuse the consumer is the minute you shoot yourself in the foot.
Yeah, and I will say this one last thing real quick, just because I don't want to get any hate mail or anything crazy.
Yeah, you won't.
I'm totally fine with Microsoft putting their exclusive, or I like the idea of it opening up and more people being able to play more games. I don't have an issue necessarily with PC getting Xbox games.
Yeah.
It seems a little weird that everyone would go there because, like I said, it almost feels like you need to have something exclusive to your console so people have a real reason to buy it. But hey, the more people that can play more games, go for it. Play it where you want to play it.
Yeah, man, it all comes down to just playing the games that you want to play. And I applaud everyone's passion about it because they take this very seriously, and gamers do take their games very seriously. And if something like this happens, there's always going to be a lot of people that are going to raise a stink about it, and that's fine. Yeah. I mean, I just figure out what you need to do. Is this going to be an exclusive to Xbox, or is it not? Is it, stick to something and don't kind of flip flop around.
That's how they started this console generation. So why stop flip flopping now?
Yeah.
All right, I got some good news and I got some bad news. Which one you guys want first?
Bad. Always a bad.
Yes.
Uncharted 4 is getting pushed back 2 more weeks.
Yep, I got that email
to May 10th.
I got that email this morning from Best Buy because I had already pre-ordered it. And you know what? I'm totally fine with that. I really am. It's another 2 weeks, 10th. Fine. It just means it's going to be a better game.
When he said, I got this email, I was like, oh, you friends with Neil Druckmann? He's like, yo, Router, I just got to tell you, man, we delaying this game. Just
you might have to push it back. What you think? You think the MTTG community is going to be mad?
Yeah.
The good news is that you can go to the PlayStation Store now and download the multiplayer beta and play through the weekend.
That's cool.
You can be playing some Uncharted 4 multiplayer from 9 a.m. on March 4th Pacific Standard Time until Sunday, March 6th at midnight Pacific Time.
Nice.
And for that stress test, you do not have to have PlayStation Plus.
Boom.
Boom. Shakalaka.
So as long as you have access to internet, you can play.
You can play it.
Perfect.
I love it. Chris, you got anything else?
Yeah, we've got a new PS4 firmware update on the way.
I saw that.
That's what I hear.
But some of the things that they're going to be adding is friend online notification, which is something they should have had forever.
Sure.
So when your friend pops on, he'll say, yo, Router's online.
I thought they had that.
They did on PS3. They don't right now. It doesn't tell you specifically when it'll tell you when a friend jumps in a party, but it doesn't tell you just when they come online.
Interesting.
Gotcha.
You can also toggle it to where you can appear offline, so you can kind of play incognito in a way, which is nice because sometimes you just want to lean back and shoot some people in Metal Gear Solid, and you don't want to get friend requests or anything. You just want to shoot the things.
That's very true.
They're going to have user scheduled events, so you can go on there, you can schedule an event, be like, I'm going to play Rocket League this night, and the way they describe it, I think you can invite other people to let them know that you're going to be doing it.
I love that.
They're going to have this thing called Play Together, which is a little weird because I thought they already had this, but it says that you can jump in a party and see what other people are playing and easily join their game. I thought that was already there.
I thought they had something like that too. I think it's only specific games though, because I know like Rocket League, I remember it would say join.
Yeah.
Or something like that when we were in a party.
Right.
But maybe they're going to try to implement it across the board.
They're also going to add streaming to Daily Motion, which I've never used that site, so I don't know anything about it.
Sure. And I think it's more of a UK thing, right? Daily Motion?
I've heard of it, but I don't know anything about it. I've never actually used Daily Motion.
There you go.
But the last thing and kind of the biggest thing is that they're going to bring remote play is coming to Windows PC and Mac with this next update.
Oh, yeah. I thought... Oh, no, we have it with Xbox.
Yeah, Xbox can stream to Windows 10 devices, be it a Surface or a PC or a laptop or whatever. But PlayStation is going to be bringing it to Windows and Mac. And I'm pretty sure it's going to be through an app. I would assume the app would be free.
Yep.
But when the firmware comes out, it's going to enable that on the PlayStation side. And then whenever the apps come out, you'll be able to do that.
So on your Windows machine, you can play Microsoft and PlayStation?
Yes.
Yes. It's pretty awesome.
That's pretty ballerific, like it's all terrific.
Yes, sir.
I like it. I like it a lot. Anything else you want to mention before we get to these questions?
We're pretty good.
Nice.
There it is.
Well, every week we ask you guys a question. Last week was very different.
Extremely different.
Because we didn't. And we didn't on purpose. It was funny after we finished the last episode with Hall, he texted us. He was like, "Oh shoot, did we forget to do a question of the week?" I was like, "Yeah, we didn't do it on purpose. We wanted to, just air it out, let it be what it was." So we're gonna hop right to where to find us. Facebook.com/Married to the Games, Twitter.com/MTTGcast, YouTube.com/Married to the Games. I think Ed's got up some Far Cry. Chris, have you put up anything there recently?
The Runner 2 and the Michonne's episode 1 were the latest things that I've added.
Nice. And Far Cry is up to episode 34.
Yeah, Ed's putting in work, man.
Yeah, he's rocking it.
And Ed, because we talked about Ori and the Blind Forest, took Ori the Blind Forest from his channel that he used to have and has put it on the MTDG channel. So you can watch him rage quit.
This is glorious.
Because that's what he did. Yeah. So thank you guys so much for being here. And Router,
rate us on iTunes so we can welcome Uncle Bread Fan.
Yeah, there you go. I knew you were going to be able to pull it off.
Oh, man, you put me on the spot, man. I was sweating for a second.
I had to.
I didn't know if it was coming to me. I was prepared, but
yeah, good.
Yeah, exactly. You got to be always ready. We might just do round robin on that thing.
I was not prepared for that. Yeah, this might end up being a round robin thing now.
I like that.
Yeah, it's going to be like a pass coming from Steve Nash. You got to always be looking out for it.
Yeah,
it's going to be Russian roulette. Married to the Game style.
That's right.
Pow.
I like it.
I love it.
Let's get into some questions.
We're going to start with some email. Daniel, hi. Gentlemen, Halsky Forever was one of my favorite podcast episodes of all time. I didn't get a chance to say my goodbyes to Halsky, but I wanted him to know he will be missed. Best of luck with the little sweet Hall raiser. I wanted to ask.
Nice.
I would love that. I wanted to ask a question to the dynamic duo. Will you guys be doing some sort of giveaway for the 200th episode? Also, Gabe, the highlight of my week is yelling, "Oh, yes, yes, y'all," along with you in the car while I listen. You stay golden, pony boy. I love it. I love it. I'm assuming we're going to have some giveaways on the 200th. Probably when we get to episode 199, we'll probably discuss it.
Right, exactly. I think we're going to give away a Kia.
Yeah, let's do that. That sounds great.
I'm just kidding. Wouldn't that be awesome?
That would be amazing. That would be amazing.
My dad did a concert and talked one of the dealerships here that he works with into giving away a 2-year lease.
Oh.
And they totally did it. And it was like a concert there was probably 800 people there. I was like, oh my gosh, that's the best odds in Vegas for sure.
Heck yeah.
Just come to this concert and win a car for 2 years.
That's amazing.
Yeah, we'll probably try to do something. We didn't give away anything last time.
You gave away shirts.
But
yeah, we had some shirts.
We gave away some shirts.
I guess everybody got one, so it's not like a giveaway like a contest or anything.
But we gave them away.
Yeah.
It's still a giveaway.
You gave away some pizza and hot dogs.
Yeah, it's our 200th, man. We got to do something. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we'll do something. Maybe Hall's firstborn.
We'll give away Hall's firstborn.
And here's a handsome gentleman to give away his child.
That's right.
Come on up here, Hall.
Yeah, right. Oh, that's awesome. Daniel, thanks for that email. Let's move on to Facebook. Josh Stapleton. This last week, MTT's very own Ed Placencia posted on social media a comment he got on an Unravel Let's Play video. It was a comment from a guy who was sharing his appreciation of Ed's upbeat personality and how watching Ed's videos have helped him through a rough time. So, did you guys see that? It was freaking awesome.
Yes, it was great. Awesome.
Good on you, Ed. So, my question is, what was the last thing that has happened in your life that was a, quote, faith in humanity restored, end quote, sort of moment? Man, it's honestly, it is things like this. Like, I know we've had several just in the past couple weeks of people emailing in or just communicating with us how like this little podcast has really got them through you know, a rough period because it kind of just gives them a way to escape from what's going on. And, you know, we're just three dudes talking here. And that was like, it was really gratifying. Like it's not a faith in humanity restored. It was just very gratifying. It was just like, I'm humbled by that and I appreciate that. And I mean, I think it's awesome.
For me, again, maybe not faith in humanity restored is the context I would say it in, but for me, the most recent thing would be last week's episode, because I was, you know, being on the outside, because I was just listening to the shows at that point, and I was wondering, you know, I hope that there's a big outpouring for Hall on, you know, his farewell show. I hope there's a lot of comments or a lot of, I was really hoping there'd be a lot of phone calls, and there were, and that was really heartwarming to see, because, I mean, I'm sure you guys know this even more so, but you probably do something over and over and over, and you don't really know, is this really, do people care? Is it impacting anybody? Are they really paying much attention? And then whenever you get that feedback that they are and that they're appreciative, that's very heartwarming.
We say that every week, dudes. Does anybody care? You know, it's one of those things where we've just been doing it, and it's amazing to get the kind of response that we've had, and the love that Hall had last week was just awesome. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, I think the most recent thing that happened to me was our first episode, our first show of this tour. We had a bunch of picketers outside.
Yeah, I saw that picture. That was crazy.
Yeah,
what the heck?
And I took a picture earlier in the day, and there was like 5 people. That group grew to about 40 people taking turns yelling at us. But
really,
but it was really cool to, because I hate when the Bible is used to condemn people.
Yes,
and that's what these guys were doing. They're just twisting scripture and making it sound like we were doing something terrible. And watching people like calmly walk over and dialogue with these people and not have to yell back and not getting frustrated and mad and yelling and pointing and red in the face like these guys were to us. It was really cool to watch, like, you know, because they're yelling at the people in line that's standing outside. But people take their kids and like just talk to them like, okay, where are you coming from? Okay, well, have you considered this? Have you considered this? Oh, okay, well, blah, 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 blah. And then one of the funniest things that happened was I went out and watched those guys for like an hour. They just listened to them rant, and because we get protesters a lot, but I've never really paid much attention to what they were saying. Mm-hmm. So I went and listened to them for a little while, and they, you know, making whatever points. And then towards right before the show started, I was getting off the bus, and this guy goes, "Oh, hey man, can I talk to you for a second?" And I was like, "Yeah." And so I went over and totally had this dialogue back and forth with this other guy that was probably 24, and he was there with his brother. I think it was 27, and he was with those guys, but he was asking me all about music and like just questions about music, and he played bass, and how did he need to do this with the speakers to where it didn't do certain things. And I was able to like really speak into this kid and how he did things at his church, and he was with those group of people that were screaming. And so it was funny because his mom and a couple sisters came over like, "What are you doing?" And he goes, "It's all right. Dad said it's okay," and kind of shoot him. And so it was cool for me to see that, like, do I think what they're doing is a little indoctrinating? Yes, of course.
Of course.
But is there a light there? Yeah, there is too. Like the fact that he came over and like open dialogue with me and just talked and was like, "Are you with this thing?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he wasn't mad, and we got to talk about it, and I got to be, you know, explain some of the points. I said, "Hey, I don't want to get in a conversation about this, but you guys are saying a couple things down there about Toby in particular that are just out and out lies. Can I just clear those up?" I was like, "I don't want to take on you guys' whole thing, but let me just clear a couple things up that you guys are getting wrong."
Nice, man.
And being able to just talk to him. And it was like a really nice back and forth. And I was like, you know, people will listen sometimes. You know what I mean?
It's
if you
true.
can pull somebody away from the crowd and away from that fevered pitch that because they were just taking turns, like just tapping each other on the shoulder, and then the other guy would take off, "Yeah, blah, 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 blah," you know, and start screaming.
So they were really getting
it wasn't
that
anything like
into
that.
it, huh? Like yelling and screaming.
Oh my gosh! Oh, red in the face. I mean, spitting.
Unbelievable, man.
Yeah,
see, that's what makes me lose my faith in humanity.
Yeah, ever-loving mind. Yes.
Yeah, it really does. But there's the silver lining right there, which I think is really awesome.
Yeah. So I think that was my most recent.
Josh, thanks. Thanks for that. Yeah, it was awesome. Moving on to Twitter, @Canadian Rider. Listening to your podcast during vasectomies must be popular. Thanks for getting me through it. Hashtag snipped in August.
Whoa. That's
amazing.
I love it. That's incredible.
So great. I love it.
Maybe when I go get a vasectomy, I'll listen to the show.
Hey,
it must
there you
be
go.
doing something. Yeah.
That's good. That's awesome. At Flowing with Rain, Uncharted 4 delay impressions. For me, it's all right. More time to enjoy the other games and possibly a more polished Uncharted. Couldn't agree more. Not mad at them at all.
Yeah, I don't have a problem as long as I can play the game and don't have to worry about, I just fell through the world.
Exactly. Yeah. You know that update file is going to be like 4 gigs easily.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's definitely like one of those things where they kept pushing The Last of Us back.
Yeah, they
did. I didn't have very many complaints about that game.
Yeah, man. Like the more you take your time there, Naughty Dog. I
wonder, do you think that it's a marketing strategy that they use?
It could be.
That they know that they're not going to be finished in time, but they just go ahead and say that date anyway to get people excited?
Yep. Because, it's one of those demand things. Like, they know this is going to be a real popular game, so they're just going to keep pushing. Oh, we're going to delay it another 2 weeks because we're not ready. Hey, I want them to be ready. I want them to, like when it's all said and done, to just take a nice deep breath and be like, it's done. That's what I want from Naughty Dog.
Yeah, there you
Although
go.
I will say this last delay in particular, if I saw it right, I don't have the story in front of me, but I think they mentioned something about the reason for this delay is so that they could have the worldwide rollout all at the same time.
Maybe.
I don't know why
you
got to wait 2 weeks to do that, but I think that
might
was
be
the reason.
voiceover in other languages and closed captioning in other languages.
Maybe.
It could be all that. That could take forever.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
For sure. Because I think that's some of the last things that they would do. Like, I would guess, you know what I'm saying? That like some of that translation stuff would be some of the later things in the process.
Yeah.
Yep. Good one. At I Like Some Games, No Man's Sky for $60 and nobody even knows what the game is about. What do you guys think?
So is
Chris?
that confirmed?
I don't know.
I don't
it's $60?
know that that's official. Like, I think that's speculation at the moment, but I will say this. I ain't got no problem with
it. So you're all about it, right?
He can't wait.
I'm interested in the game, but here's the thing: when I look at the story of the developers and this how small team they are and the accomplishment, and if it truly is expansive and can just go on forever. Now, will I want to play it forever? Who knows? I may hate the game. Yep. But I'm intrigued enough, and the fact that it can just go on forever and all this other stuff, I'm fine playing that. Like when The Witness came out a couple weeks ago or last month, whenever it was, and people kind of flipped out about it being $40, but so many people are not only enjoying it, but getting like 50, 60 plus hours out of it.
Oh, yeah, my buddy's doing that too. He's gotten like 400 out of the 600 puzzles done already. He and his wife are doing it. That's how amazing this is.
And I don't even necessarily think that a game has to be long to justify XYZ price. But
no, not at all.
I think I understand everybody's situation is different. So, your pocketbook is your pocketbook and you have a right to not want to pay whatever price and whatever, but...
Pocketbook?
Yeah, pocketbook. Your money clip, whatever.
Your man purse.
That's what my grandmother used to call it. That's funny.
Leave my purse alone.
Let me reach down in my pocketbook.
But I don't know. I can usually tell if I'm going to like a game, and if I purchase it, I judge right then if the price is worth it. And if I feel like I'm going to enjoy the game, usually I'm fine with the price, unless it's $200 and all I get is a 3-hour game. Well, that might be a little ridiculous.
Yeah, I have not been. I'm with you on the developer side. I love the story. I love the imagination and the genius behind these developers. It's just not my cup of tea. I'm not really excited for it at all, to be honest.
And I get that.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, because that's just not my style of game. But do I appreciate it? Absolutely. I think we need more guys and more developers like this to be thinking outside the box and doing whatever we can to continually push great games. So, man, have at it. That's awesome.
I'll probably get it on PS Plus when it's free, maybe.
There you go. In a year?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Good question.
At Vault Girl. Oh, Haley, here we go. Will you guys be joining in the fun of #The Division with us?
Ooh, I think I want to. I think I'm on the road, though. Isn't it come out next week?
Yeah, it comes out, I think, next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday, I think.
Yeah,
I don't know, man. I'm still on the fence with it, too.
Tuesday? Not a Friday?
I'm pretty sure it comes out the 8th, which is next Tuesday.
Yeah, I think this is one of those, like, we're still going to have the Tuesday releases. Like, they're slowly rolling in the Friday ones, so we're still going to have Tuesday and Friday releases. But, like, the Division's been around how many years now? 4 or 5? So
yeah, 19.
So I think they're going to stick with it and honor the Tuesday release. So yeah, I don't know about like it looks great. Like I'm just like
Chris, you played it. What do you think?
Okay, so here's the deal. I'm probably going to get the game, but I'm not really all that sold on it just from the beta. The main reason I'm probably going to end up getting it is because since I don't really play Destiny anymore, I miss playing games with my buddies, and all my friends that play Destiny, they're all getting the Division.
Yeah,
so
right.
I want to get it, but there's things about it that make me nervous because in Destiny, if you walked away from the game for a while because you were playing something else and you came back and it had been like a month or something, you know, your buddies may be a higher level than you, but you could still get into a lot of activities and they could kind of help you along and help you level up. But in the Division, at least in the first round of the beta, I didn't play the second round, so I don't know if this changed. But like to go into the Dark Zone, you had to be the exact same level as your team. Otherwise, you couldn't go in with them or they couldn't go in with you.
Oh, man.
And I just feel like if I'm playing all these other games and I go away for 2 weeks and come back and everybody's 6 levels above me, I'm going to be dependent on them helping me along. And if they can't or they don't want to, I don't want people obligated to do that.
Yeah.
I'm just afraid I'm going to get left behind so quick and then I'm going to be sitting here with a game that I can't really play. Because I will say this, in the beta, I didn't really enjoy playing it by myself. I really enjoyed playing with my friends.
Yeah, there you go.
But by myself, I got bored after 30 minutes with it.
Yeah, it's kind of like Evolve was like that. Remember, Chris, when we were playing the Evolve beta, and that was really fun when it was us playing it. But then, like, when you play it by yourself, it's like, wah, 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 wah.
But see, the weird thing is, I'm not really sure why I didn't enjoy playing alone. Because I played Destiny a lot of times by myself. Because there was many things you could do solo. And there was a lot of stuff I really enjoyed, and I would play for hours by myself. But for some reason, now granted, it was only a beta. Maybe if I buy the real game, I'll absolutely love it. Who knows? But I'm scared that I'm not going to want to play alone, and then I'm going to get left behind really quickly.
Yeah, I can see that.
Interesting.
Yeah, I want to jump in, but I'll be on the road, and internet out here is just
I can't imagine
too
you'd have
shoddy
a whole
to try
lot of fun with that.
Exactly.
And I still am not sure. So does it have like a campaign or a story?
I don't think so. I didn't think so.
I have no idea. I haven't played hide nor hair of it.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Good question though, Haley.
Yeah.
I want to be out there with you, girl.
Yeah, that's right. Final question here from at HOFN. Oh, at Hofen Show. HOFNSHO.
Yeah, that's what you get.
Hofen Show. Whatever.
Yeah.
Do you enjoy games with different endings? Yeah,
Ooh.
I do like it. I did that for Far Cry 4. Like I did a quick save right before I knew like where the ending with Pagan was, and that way I could do all the different endings for him. It's kind of fun.
What about you, Chris?
You know what? I've never really thought about it. I guess I do because I like the idea of feeling like the choices and the directions and the things that I did could lead to a more personal outcome.
Yeah.
But I never, like, I know there'll be a few games, for instance, like The Walking Dead on the Telltale. I played it one way and then I was like, okay, that was awesome. Now I'm going to play it a second time and I'm going to pick the different choices. And I got maybe a quarter of the way through and I was like, nah, never mind. I'm good. I'll just look it up on YouTube.
Exactly.
I'm not doing that.
That's the thing. Like, I enjoy different endings. Like, if I'll pick my ending and then if I didn't save it beforehand or if I have to play the whole game again, I'm just going to YouTube.
Right. You know what's weird? I'm on the fence with different endings. I understand it and it completely makes sense to me and I see why people would love it. But there's something about me that loves community so much and talking about one thing.
Yeah, that I like that.
That's the only thing I don't like about different endings. If I play something this way and I get this ending, then me and you can't even enjoy the ending together if we want to conversate about it. Like my buddy, like me and Hall got completely different endings on Dishonored. And then I think one of my buddies that I let borrow it got a different ending too. So we couldn't really relate past a certain point on the game. We're talking about like two separate games.
Well, and Hall's style was to go in and just shoot them up and kill them all.
Yeah, and Deadpool.
Exactly. And your style and my style is, stealth. And because I did the same thing. I got the good ending at Dishonored too. I don't think Hall did because he just went in guns blazing, as he does.
Right. He was like, all these rats are following me around. And it made the game like so different that we couldn't even really talk about the game because number one, because those rats and everything, it made his gameplay completely different than mine.
Well, it changed his typical gameplay.
Yeah, it changed the whole thing. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but
So
you know what?
I'm
He
on the
still
fence.
loved it.
I understand it and I get it. Yeah.
Like he's like when we talked about Dishonored 2, when they had mentioned it at the Bethesda press conference, he was excited for it. So I mean, he'd probably still play it.
Yeah, it's true.
Interesting. Good perspective though, man. I like that. Like being able to cohesively talk about a game and not having all these different endings. It's the little devil's advocate for it, but it's all good.
Exactly.
Thanks everybody for all the questions, man. It was awesome.
Yeah. Thank you. That was great. Chris McCrackin.
Yes.
How do you feel, man? First episode down.
Welcome, sir.
I feel a lot better now that my mic is still currently on.
You came in crystal clear, baby. Crystal clear.
Yeah, man. I love it. Oh, man. So the question of the week for you guys is, are you struggling to get through a game right now? And if so, what is it? I know sometimes I definitely hit slumps where like I'm really enjoying a game and then maybe I go play this game over here for a second and forget about this game over here. And I'm going back to it. I'm like, oh, shoot, man, I got to go finish that game up. I think that's in the back of my mind what XCOM is, because like I'm playing XCOM, and then I was like, oh, I brought my PlayStation out and my buddy wants to play DC Universe, Injustice, and that's been really fun. And then, Stancil said we should go play H1 for a little bit.
Distraction, baby.
My phone's right here. Yeah, I'll play Alto's Adventure. So do you guys have, Router, do you have anything like that in your life right now?
I just did with Fallout 4, man. I couldn't go back to it. Like I was
done with it.
I did some Fallout 4, went to Rocket League, then came back to Fallout 4, then did Rocket League, then did Rocket League, then did Rocket League, then did Rocket League. And then I'm like, and now Far Cry Primal's out. So
you're not going back.
But yeah, Fallout took it to the curb.
And then he's going to go to Rocket League and play in the Batmobile and then Rocket League.
Trust me, like I said last week, like after I'm done like my little gaming session, I usually give myself an amount of time in the morning. And when I'm done with Far Cry Primal, I still go in and get a Rocket League game in. Always.
I love that. And I think in the back of people's minds, there must be something that you don't completely enjoy. Because I remember like days, especially in high school, where you're like looking at the clock like, can we freaking get out of class already so I can go home and play this game? And I feel like that's how the Uncharted games are. Mm-hmm. But there's something about XCOM. Maybe it's because it's really hard, but there's something about this not like drawing me back. Like, come on, man, you gotta play this like The Last of Us was, or, something like that. And so I wonder if Fallout for you, and even with The Witcher 3, even though I really enjoyed it, maybe because I was doing so many side missions that I didn't feel like I was getting anywhere in the story really. And so I just kind of stopped playing it. Maybe that's Fallout for you. What about you, Chris? You got anything like that?
If the context of the question is, do you find it difficult to get back to a game, like difficult wanting to get back to a game, then I don't really run into that because I just don't care. I mean, at the end of the day,
the
like,
question really is like,
are
you struggling to get through a game? Like where there's a game that's like just constantly on your backlog and you've started it maybe 3 or 4 times, or you've started it once and you're into it, but it's just hard to move the needle.
There'll be games that are hard to move the needle because they get difficult. Like for instance, right now I'm back in Metal Gear Solid 5 and I crossed over kind of the first act of the game and I'm at about 50%, and the missions are getting much more difficult. I'm having to do ones that are on extreme difficulty and all these other things. So in that sense, yes, but I never have the issue. Like I don't even have anything I consider a backlog. At any given moment, I'm playing the game that I want to play at that moment. And I don't beat myself up because, but I haven't gone back and played Borderlands anymore. It's like, I don't, I mean, I feel like too many people almost, they feel it's like a rite of passage, or like somehow they're better. Like, oh yes, I finished all these games that I purchased. And I understand if you make a purchase, you probably want to see your money's worth and you want to play your game. And that's cool. But I just don't like seeing people beat themselves up because they haven't gone back to game X, when it's like, you know what? If that was the game you wanted to be playing, you'd be playing it right now. So don't, just enjoy what you're playing.
Good, man.
Yeah. So I don't ever let myself worry too much about getting back to a game. If I do, I do. If I don't, then it wasn't meant to be.
There you go.
I love that. It. Beautiful.
Well, let us know, guys, what games are you maybe struggling to get through? What game is hard to move the needle on right now? And maybe why, if you even have a reason. And that's it. I'm your boy, Gabe Patillo. That is Tim Router. That is Chris freaking McCrackin, and we are married to the games, and we are up out this thing. Peace!